Alright, so what we're going to do today, if you've done an Algebra 2 before, this is not brand new. It's called compositions of functions. This is what I asked you to copy down a second ago. It's still up here. It says the composition of functions f and g is notated. And this right here does not say fog. This is read f composite g of x. And every time you see this notation, I'm going to ask you to go rewrite it like this. F of g of x. Whatever's written on the inside, you're going to write on the inside of the double function. Whatever's written first, you're going to write on the outside. When we do composites in here, you always evaluate the inside first. You're going to get an answer, and then you're going to plug it in to the outside. The math is easy. Here's what you're not going to like. What is still not hanging up at the back of the room? There are none. So put your phones down. Put your phones down. All right, here come the first problems. So, number 1, and there will be 4 parts to this. There will be an A, a B, a C, and a D. Number 1 says, and you're writing this down, suppose that f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3, and g of x is equal to 4x. I'm going to use these 2 equations to find 4 different composites. The first composite we're going to go find is f composite g of 2.
Where'd you get 2 from?
I gave it to you.
Oh.
Okay.
What's composite?
It means we're going to evaluate inside and outside. So we're going to evaluate twice. All right, so first thing I want you to do is every time you see this is we're going to go rewrite this as f of g, and what do they want me to be plugging in? 2. So I'm going to rewrite it first. And now I'm going to go to the inside function. Which one's inside? G. And I'm going to plug what into the g equation? 2. So g of 2 is going to equal, the equation says 4x, but I'm going to do 4 times 2, and somebody already told me the answer. What is that? 8. So just wherever the x is, you're going to go plug in the 2, and 4 times 2 is 8. Halfway done. Now you're going to take the answer that you just got, and you're going to go plug it into the outside function. What function is outside? F. So we're going to do f of, what answer am I going to use? 8. So you're just plugging in twice. So my equation for f says I'm going to have 2x squared minus 3. So 2, 8 squared minus 3. You need to know what you should do first. Should I multiply by 2? Should I square? Or should I subtract? So we're going to square first. What is 8 squared? 64. What's 2 times 64? And what's 128 minus 3? 125. 125 is your final answer. So f composite g at 2 is equal to 125. So how many times did we have to plug in? Twice.
So pretty much like the WH stuff?
Yeah, it's exactly like that WH stuff that we had on that those word problems. All right, so we're going to go do a letter B. So letter B, we're going to go do G composite F at 4. Order matters. Santiago, ready? So it says G composite F. So the G goes on the outside this time. Then we're going to have F, and they want me to evaluate F at what number? 4. So we're going to do the F function first. So I have F of 4 equals 2, instead of X, we're going to plug in 4 squared minus 3.
Where'd you get the 2?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Better? Okay, so what is 4 squared? 16. 16 times 2? 32. Take away 3. All right, are you done? No. So I have to take the answer that I just got, And I have to go plug it into this one on the outside. So I'm going to do G of 29. My G function says I'm going to do 4 times x. So I'm going to do 4 times 29. What's 2 times 29? 58. If I double 58, well, I know what 4 times it is. Okay. Without a calculator, look how smart y'all are. Number sense. I don't know. I'd be better. You'd be smarter. Okay. What questions can I answer about plugging in? Is it hard? No, it's not that it's hard. It's just time consuming. So this wasn't so bad. We did F composite G, and then we did G composite F. Sometimes they ask you to composite itself. Okay, so this is what C looks like. We're going to do C. Same 2 equations. You don't need to rewrite them. Just write C, G composite G of 1. So we're going to rewrite again just like we did earlier. I'm going to go to my inside equation, which is G again, and I'm going to do G of 1. Here's my G equation. It hasn't changed. So what do I get when I evaluate G at 1? 4. Now what do I do with that answer? I plug it back into G because it wants me to use G twice. Very good. So what is the final answer? Done. You go try D without me. Let's see if you can get it right. All right, what questions do you have? All right, so we're good? So we're plugging into equations. We have to plug in twice. The final answer for F, composite F of 0 is 15. Yes, ma'am?
I thought we were having a work today, or practice.
Is we're going to practice with a group quiz.
Are you going to give it to us before?
Yep.
So tomorrow we're going to do it too?
No.
No, we're going to do that show.
Yeah. All right. So now what we're going to do is instead of doing equations, I'm going to give you tables. So I'm going to pause the video again. I'm going to give you a chance to copy. All I want you to do right now is copy the table. Okay? So you're just copying the table. This example number 2. Go copy. All right. So we're going to start off exactly the way we did earlier for letter A. I'm going to call this one A. We're going to go rewrite this as F of G of 1. And we're going to use what we did on our last test in order to be able to solve these. The inside, right here, what does this represent? What letter? X. So they're saying when X is equal to 1, here's X equal to 1, what is the value of G? 0. So G of 1 is 0. I'm going to do it again. This number in here is your X. So when X is 1, the G function equals 0. Now I'm going to take this answer and plug it into who? So I'm going to do F of 0. So this is saying when X equals 0, here's X is 0, what is F? 5. The answer is 5. Learning how to read the tables. Let's go do it again. Let's go do B. So B, we're going to go do G of 1. So G of 1. Which one do I do first? G of 1. Trick question. Okay, so G of 1. Hey, we've already done G of 1 a couple times. So when X is 1, what is G? 0. Now I'm going to plug 0 in for what? The G. So now when X is 0, what is G? 1. The whole thing equals 1. Why don't you go try C, and we'll see if you get it right. If you get it right, we don't have to do any more. If you don't get it right, we can do some more. Go. Don't say it out loud. Let everybody try. 11. 11. All right. Does anyone need me to go through it? They don't know how I got it. Okay. So first thing we do is we go do g of 2. So when x is 2,
Oh, wait, I'm so dumb. Never mind.
I'll just keep going. G is negative 3. And now I'm going to go do f of negative 3 because f's on the outside. When x is negative 3, f is 11, and we're done.
I literally just wrote the wrong answer.
Okay. So you're good?
Yeah.
So are we okay on reading the tables? We're good? Okay. So we've done equations and we've done tables. Now what we're going to do, are you ready, Yusuf? We're going to do it without numbers. Go right down number 3. All right, these are going to start off exactly the way we did earlier. We're going to go rewrite this as g of f, but they didn't tell me what number. If they don't give you a number, you're going to plug in x. So it's g of f of x. And we did this in our last unit. This isn't new either. All we're going to do is start with the inside. The inside function is which one? F, and everywhere in the f function, I'm going to take out an x and plug in what? We did this. So f of x equals, well, if I take out an x and plug in an x, does it change? Nope. It just equals what it says. So f of x is equal to x squared plus 3x plus 1. That is the first step. Very nice. I'm going to take this answer and plug it into who? To which one? G. So it's going to look nasty, but it's not hard. So g of x squared plus 3x plus 1 is equal to, so here's the g function right here, 2 parentheses, all this junk again, but then I have to remember to bring down my what? Plus 3. Okay, so I have to go simplify this. There's a 2 out front, so what am I going to do with it? Distribute. So 2x squared plus 6x plus 2 plus 3. Good. Good. Just combine like terms. That's your final answer. You're done. I didn't. Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, that was an accident. Thank you. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was about to start multiplying underneath. And then I was like, hey, that looks like division. I should move it. All right, are we good? Yep, let's go do B. Do y'all want to do it with me or by yourselves? All right, let me pause the video. Go try B, and then we'll come back and check. Should have been 4x squared plus 18x plus 19. Yeah. Okay, so let's go through it. So the first thing you had to do is you had to, where this squared was, you had to what? You had to put in 2x plus 3 squared, yes? Okay, and what a lot of y'all forget to do, y'all just go 2 squared, 3 squared. That's not what that means. It means 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. You have to go FOIL. And if you don't FOIL, you won't get it right. So you had to go write it like this, 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. And then I brought down the plus 3 parentheses, 2x plus 3, close them plus 1.
I did that right. I did the FOIL here, but I forgot there was no x.
It's common. So then we're going to do 2x times 2x, and I get 4x squared. 2 times 3 is 6x. 3 times 2 is 6x. 3 times 3 is 9. Then we're going to distribute. 3 times 2 is 6x. 3 times 3 is 9. I'm going to bring down my plus 1. And then I collect like terms. You will have one like this where you have to square, and you have to remember to write it twice and FOIL. You had to FOIL in the test you just took, so this isn't new. What questions can I answer? All right, we're going to go do one more of these. We did F composite, a G composite F, F composite G. Now we're going to go do G composite G. So we're going to go rewrite it as 4x squared plus 18x plus 19. So we have G of g of x. Same two equations. I'm not making up new ones. So g of x is equal to 2x plus 3. Now I'm going to take that answer and I'm going to go plug it back in again. So g of 2x plus 3. So I've got a 2 parentheses, 2x plus 3. And here's where a lot of people forget to do. What do I have to remember to bring back down? Another plus 3. So this is the 2, this piece is the x, and there's the plus 3. Now we're going to go distribute, and we're going to collect like terms. Yeah, I don't think this is that hard. You tell me. It's okay? Anybody want me to wait? Okay, tell me when you're ready. All right, problem number 4. Write it down word for word. Remember, we're only doing 5, so we're almost done. On this particular problem, there are going to be 3 like this on your homework, and there's usually at least 1 on the test. It says, if f of x equals 3x minus 4, and g of x is equal to 1/3 the quantity x plus 4, on your test it might say, does it equal x? And you'll have to go find out. The only way to find out is to do both composites. Okay, so what they want you to do on this problem, what you're going to have to do on your test, is you're going to have to go do 2 composites. I'm going to do one with you. I'm going to let you do the other one. They're telling you, or they want to know, if they both equal x. You can't just guess. You have to go do the math. So I'm going to divide my paper in half, and I'm going to do F composite G on the left side, and I'm going to do G composite F on the right. Okay, I'll do one side with you, and then I'll pause the video, let you try the right side, and we'll see if you can get it right. Okay, so the first one on the left, I'm going to write F of G of X. So it tells me I'm going to start with which function? The G. Now look up here at your G function. There's a number out front. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute before I write it down. So I'm going to write down G of X equals 1/3 times X is just 1/3 X. 1/3 times 4 is 4/3. So G of X is equal to 1/3 X plus 4/3. What questions can I answer there? Okay, now I'm going to take this answer and I'm going to go plug this in to the F function. So my F function up top says I'm going to do 3 times this quantity that I just wrote down minus 4. So I'm going to have 3 times 1/3 X plus 4/3 minus 4. We good there? So you're multiplying 3 times a fraction and 3 times another fraction. So some of y'all need to go put the 3 over what number? Over 1, and that's only if you need to. And then you're going to do top times top and bottom times bottom. So if I go do top times top, I get 3 over 3, which is just what? 1x. I'm going to do top times top and get 4 over 3, which is just what? I'm sorry, 12 over 3, which is what? 4. And then I'm going to bring down my minus 4. What happens to my 4's? So the whole left side equals what? X. So far, it's looking like the answer to the question is yes. But I don't know until I do the other side. I want you to go do the other side, and we're going to find out whether or not it equals X. All right, so I'm going to pause. You said you had a question?
Yeah. Can we just cross cancel?
I'm going to go through it by covering up so you can't see. Because the first thing we had to do is the inside, right? So we have to do F. And F of X just equals 3x minus 4. Are you good there? Okay, now I'm going to take that answer, that 3x minus 4, and I have to go plug it in right here for this x. So I've got 1/3, 1/3. I brought down my 3x minus 4 in place of the x, and then I brought down my plus 4. This is what most people forget, is that second plus 4. Got to bring it down from here. Now what do you notice about this minus 4 and this plus 4? That you're going to cancel. So all you have left is 1/3 times 3x, which is x.
What if you tried distributing the 1/3 of x plus 4 before you put it in?
You could have.
I got x.
That's more math to do, because then you're going to have to multiply 1/3 times -4 and 1/3 times +4. So I would always simplify inside first if I can. But it doesn't matter. Even if you did that, we're still going to all end up at the very end with x again. It's just you're just taking a little bit longer. Miss Puckett last year had like 4 or 5 of these on the test. I would copy them down word for word, ladies. It's actually really easy. It looks hard, but it's not. So copy it down word for word. After I go through it, you're going to be like, I'm glad she's putting 4 or 5 of those on there because they really are easy. Okay, so I'll pause while you. All right, here we go. So on number 5, what they want you to do is they want you to find f and g so that f composite g of x is equal to h of x. This is called decomposition. So they gave me the answer. They want to know what did we start with. So this is what we're going to go do. We're going to write down f of g of x equals, and they already told me what it equaled. It equals x squared plus 1 to the 50th power. H just means f of g of x. They want to know, what did we start with? What was g and what was f? That's all they really want to know. So this is how simple it is. What function did I write on the inside here? G. What's on the inside here? That's g. Okay, what's on the inside is the name of the function that's written inside. So now what you do is you replace x squared plus 1 with the letter x. So if I replace all of this in parentheses with the letter x, I just get x to the what power? Those are your two functions. So whatever's on the inside is your inside function. You replace that with x, and then you just rewrite what's left. So let's go do it again. Let's go look at B. So on B, f of g of x equals the square root of x squared plus 1. What's on the inside? What letter? F or G? G. And then go look at the function over here. What's on the inside of the function? X squared plus 1. So g of x is x squared plus 1 again. Just coincidence. It won't always be that. That's right. Told you it was easy. So now are you glad that she puts a lot of these on the test?
No.
I hope so. Okay, let's go do one more. F of g of x is equal to the absolute value of 2x squared plus 3. What letter's on the inside, F or G? G is still on the inside, and so is 2x squared plus 3. So g of x equals 2x squared plus 3. I'm going to replace 2x squared plus 3 with what letter? So f of x, absolute value of x, and you're done. I don't know for sure that she'll have this many on there again on the test this year, but they're easy. What questions can I answer about today? So you feel good?